Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. We're presented by the Navy Federal Credit Union. Hard to be better than what Navy Rugby has been since the inception of the program at the varsity level. Obviously, a tremendous club program for several years, but now that they've gotten to the varsity level, they just continue to ratchet it up and take the stakes even higher and higher. Pleased to be joined now by Landon Opp. And Landon, dude, we knew you could run. That's a given. But having, a history of cross country, soccer, track and field, where did the love of rugby come from? Obviously, having an older brother that played at the academy might have helped a little bit, but where did that love of rugby come from with all of those other sports that you'd competed in leading up to that?
Yeah, so when I got to the academy, I just felt a little bit burnt out of both soccer and running. I'd had fun with them throughout high school, but just wanted to go to something new. As my brother was on the team, I had known about it, came out, loved the guys, and just something that excited me about the sport was that I was continually learning something new every day, and I still am. So I think it's really easy to bring out a passion for the sport when you can get better every day, noticeably better. And I've loved every second of it.
As I've talked to multiple guys on the team over the last couple of years, and you mentioned, you love the guys. What is it about that culture, that room, that A is so welcoming, B, willing to educate, and C, obviously, as you mentioned, I mean, it seems like a great group of guys and who all seem connected with each other.
It is. Yeah, it's a great group. I think one of the biggest thing for us is just shared accountability through everything. We win as a team, we lose as a team, not just the starting 15 guys, but all the way down through the B side as well, or the newest people that come on. So welcoming people into the locker room, getting them into our culture of we're going to hold each other accountable for mistakes and we're going to grow and learn as a group, pushing each other every day, and playing for one another. It's just really builds a strong team, and we know we need that if we're going to win.
How hard has it been to learn the idiosyncrasies, the fine details of this game? Because as we said, this program was already rolling pretty well as a club program. You're out there with some other really experienced guys who know what they're doing. How hard was this to learn and obviously get up to this level now where you contributed such a regular rate for this team?
It was hard, yeah. I mean, I'm still learning rules of rugby to this day. A lot of minute details, but just the first 2 years, pretty much here, just watching a lot of film, and talking to the upper class and coaches a ton, which is why I feel like part of that team culture is now it's not on me to pass it down to any of the underclass, anything that I might know that they don't. It's just paying it forward, leaving the team in a better place than it was.
Obviously you understand now that you've been inside of it, but that's one of the things they sell you on the culture and the legacy of players gone by. It means a lot to the people that have now, of course, graduated, gone on to the Marine Corps, gone on to the fleet. This program means a lot to them. Have you seen that now that you've been on the inside? And as you just mentioned, certainly now you and your fellow seniors want to leave it in an even better place than last year and then the year before that as time goes on.
Absolutely. We joke about the alumni being so they feel like they're a part of the team still, and to us it feels like they are. We finished the national championship game, and the turnaround, and the first person I hugged was a random alumni that jumped over the fence. It was already on the field. It's funny, but like you get to the point that I'm at now as a senior, and you realize that it's not about me; it's about the team, and anything I can do to make the team better. And once you leave here, you still have that connection, and it's like I do feel like I made the team a better place. I still feel connected to it, and in some small, minuscule way, I do contribute to what the team culture is going forward. And we respect all of the alumni for the contributions they've made to put us in the place that we are now. And we recognize that they are a part of every win that we have. So it's we joke that it's iterations of us that just come through and pay it forward and just come through and pay it forward, but it really does connect us all.
Landon, that's a consistent message that I've heard from several of your teammates, from your coach, people connected with the program. Had a chance to spend some time with them when we played in Dublin earlier this year. but that consistent message of, unselfishness and, looking at the global picture, is that one of the reasons why this program is as good as it is? Because everybody seems to have the same message. There doesn't seem to be much in this particular team. It's kind of uncanny to listen to a lot of you guys talk and almost word for word at times saying the same thing. I think it's extraordinary.
I think it's definitely been a contributor. I think it's way easier to play for something bigger than yourself. It gives people purpose, a meaning. Uh, I think we've all carried on that. We've all bought into that. Um, yeah,
What's the key? I mean, you guys obviously are one of the few programs that have what we would consider a split season, so to speak. You have some activity in the fall. You have obviously activity now in the spring. What's the key to maintaining fitness and your skill as that time, at least from game competition, takes a little bit of a break there? How hard is it to keep that edge that you need, obviously, to maintain everything? Because I think most people would admit your practices are probably just as every bit as intense and competitive as your games. And maybe that's one of the reasons why you guys are as good as you are, because of the depth of the program that you have.
yeah. Winners are really important in my mind. You work really hard for the fall season in our league, and then you did take a little bit of a break mentally from game sharp every weekend. But there's so many ways to find ways to improve. A lot of film, a lot of lifting. Our assistant coach does a really good job, Coach Willix, of making sure we're staying fit through various fun workouts. Um, and then we take the time to we us backs specifically get a little bit of touch, a little bit of sevens going to get work on some of the cooler, fancier things that we might not be as comfortable practicing in normal seasons. That when we do come back for the spring, it's all built up together. We feel fit. We feel like we've learned new skills, and we try it out with even sharper, even more intensity. So I think the winters are really important. We always come back, I think, stronger.
There are so many stories like yours in this game. Great athletes, guys that have been really good in other things. There's also risk to it as well. And as you look back on it now, um, there's some bravery in taking risk. A lot of people won't take risk out there. As you look at what the process was, particularly when you started, because we were not in a really good place at that time in the world. To see where you've grown and where the program has grown too. I mean, how would you describe that to someone? Because those of us that know what you all have gone through understand it a little bit. But if you were to try and describe that to some stranger on the street, I'm not sure they'd buy it almost from a script standpoint, because it's really been amazing to see what you, your teammates, your classmates have all endured from the time you started there to where you are right now.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to explain too. I mean, we were in a place plebe where they got one game in the spring barely um, against Army, and it didn't go well. And we didn't know what rugby was going to look like going forward. We were barely practicing during the week. Um, and we were just so excited to be able to do that. So to be able to devote myself to it for just 2 years straight, put in hours of work, and be able to come out last year with the result we did was huge. Um, can't I mean I don't think that there's going to be too many stories like that. There's probably less now that we're recruiting incredible recruits now going forward. Maybe less opportunities for stories like that. But it's been a ride.
As a team, you all ultimately, I mean, you had the ultimate success. But at the same time, it appears as if you all, even with good talent to replace, have been able to do that. How has this team made its identity so far to where right now you're still on pace to achieve the goals that you all set out for at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, finding our team identities. I think we're still working towards what that is. We've been mixing up a lot of different backlines this year, finding out personnel, who fits where. We know what we were good at last year, and we recognize that we're not going to be good at the exact same things, but that did get us pretty far. So holding on to some of the core principles we have in our game model, while also developing some new things that maybe a hair more skillful in certain areas this year that allows us to play with. Um, but I think it's holding true to what we know works for us and just sticking with that.
How different is Landon Opp 4 years into this than the one that showed up on I-Day here at the academy? How just in totality, how different is Landon Opp today?
I Well, 20 pounds heavier to start with, but I think different in so many ways. Playing on the rugby team, you have to develop in every single way. You've got to be able to commit yourself to something. It's personal development. You'll hold yourself to a strict schedule of lifting. You're going to work out, then you have to be able to handle all your things on the side. And then it's leadership development. Now that we're upperclassmen on the team, leading the team where we want it to go, holding the underclassmen accountable to our culture. So just as a person, mentally, physically, just so much better.
I was going to say winning can breed complacency, but you just mentioned the key word, leadership. I mean, it's not just a captain, it's really everybody on the team at times can be in a leadership position. This place tries to instill that in you on a daily basis around here. Is that one of the reasons why that complacency hasn't grabbed you all yet and continues to motivate you all toward the end game, which is, as we all know, knock on wood, trying to win every game and obviously take home, national supremacy again?
I think it's definitely helped. We have a really strong class of firsties right now. We have a lot of us as well, which helps that when maybe one of the coaches isn't around, we can hold each other accountable. And it is harder playing to hold on to something from last year than it is to earn something that we've never done before. So it's finding new motivations, still things that we've never done. Maybe win in Cal. There's never been a two-time national champion in Navy rugby. So finding things to still work for, and then on days that it might be a little bit slower, the wide range of upperclassmen and then our coaches are pretty good about holding motivation.
Awesome stuff, big fella. Appreciate you taking the time for us today. Enjoy the left coast and continued success with what remains for you and your teammates this season.
Awesome. Thank you.